Hey, what is up guys, this is Hi-Fi Review with another review of the phone. This time we are reviewing Umiio X1. But before we proceed, there's something we gotta talk about. Only 70% of you people na nag-review ng videos ko is subscribed to my channel. So, listen up here, you little piece of shit. Please subscribe to my channel. Please hit the subscribe button, the like button if you want, the notification bell. But please, if you are viewing my video, please hit the subscribe button. It'll be a great help for me to continue reviewing cheaper phones. So let's get on with the video. And now we'll proceed with the unboxing. And the box looks and feels very nice. It's very well made. It's at least better than the THAF. Also, the phone has a bubble wrap, so you don't expect a premium phone here. Although it looks very gorgeous. Better than the THAF anyway. Anyway, you can peel that off. It actually has a nice feel when peeling that off on new phones. And also the camera has one, so you better remove that if you plan on using the camera. Before we get on with the phone, let's check all the things that come with the phone in the box. Here we have the standard user manual, very generic and cheap. And then we have the power brick next, which is made from plastic that's very cheap, so I wouldn't recommend using this. You see the sound, it feels very cheap. You might start a fire if you start using that. It also comes with headphones, which again, they feel very cheap, but at least they are there. They're very standard 3.5mm. And then we have micro USB, which feels nicer and more premium than the power brick. And then we have a jelly case, and again, why can't iPhone and Samsung come with jelly cases? And also a screen protector, which is very nice. And a pin for ejecting the SIM. Now we proceed with the phone, and it's a very nice looking phone. Just holding it, it feels way better than the THAF. But again, it doesn't have a bootloader, but it has a fingerprint scanner. It's actually a real fingerprint scanner that's working. Although it doesn't come with the settings, you have an app to use. And also don't try the face unlock. It's just like the one on the THAF. I wouldn't recommend it, but at least it has a fingerprint scanner. It's not the fastest in registering your fingerprint, but at least it's there. Moving on to the back of the phone, I peeled off the back, and it's a very gradient distorted look, kind of like the Redmi 8, and I love that color, love that design. Also, the front can get very bright even in outdoor conditions. And on the right, we have all the buttons. On the left, we don't have any because the SIM tray is on the top of the phone. And on the bottom, we proceed with there's the standard charger, and then the speaker, and the 3.5mm head jack. Well, it's this very standard configuration. Back to the back, it's a very shiny and glossy, so it's a fingerprint magnet. So I recommend you use the jelly case on it. And also it comes with pre-installed apps like Facebook and WhatsApp. There's no Google apps, but you can just use the Play Store and download everything there. Here I'm downloading Mobile Legends. I also download a few other apps, and don't worry about using all that because surprisingly it has 32 gigs of storage, and I didn't even remember that when I ordered it. And on the box it did say, so I hooked it up to a laptop, and again it does say it has 32 gigs. But just to be sure, I downloaded Antutu benchmark, like I always do on all the phones I reviewed, just to be sure, although it took a bit of time to test it out. See, it's like with the THAF, it's not compatible with the GPU rendering, I think. Maybe it was GPU or CPU. But again, it's not compatible with this phone, maybe because it's running Android 6, it's a bit older. And the rest of the test took a long time.
2,000 years later.
And here you can see it's still taking a long time to render. But when it's all said and done, it has scored 46,488, which is not bad compared to Cher mobile phones. Although after the test, it was down to 23%, and after 2 hours, I got it to 100. So it's a very slow charging. And here we proceed with playing Among Us. And I wouldn't say it can play Among Us. It's very laggy. Weirdly enough, it's lagging on Among Us, which is a very it's like a very It's a very simple game, but at least it can load Among Us. The THAF phone just couldn't do this, but I wouldn't recommend it. Anyway, I proceed with the Mobile Legends. Here we proceed with Mobile Legends. As you can already see, there are frame drops. It doesn't have high frame rate mode, but there's HD mode, and you can play on high mode, but I wouldn't recommend that because it will cause the phone to lag. So maybe try playing on medium, but again, the phone is usable. You can play on it. Here, I got savage. You can win the game. You can win some or lose some, but then like with the other phone, when you get victory, it takes a long time. I played for 27 minutes and the battery was down to 76, so not bad. Almost an hour, almost half an hour, and I still have lots of battery. Here you can see that it's running Android 6, like it said on the box, so they're not lying there. It has a MTK 6580, which is not really a good chip. It's for cheaper phones. It has 480p display, 5 megapixels on the main camera, and 5 megapixels on the front. So it's for the price, you're actually getting what you pay for. And touch display, touch test, you can render 5 fingers. So not really the high-end screens. High-end screens can go for 10. But the camera is not that bad. But we'll proceed later to that on the camera test. Now I did mention the screen was only 480p, so we go for a YouTube test, a sound check first, and you can see that it's very tingy. Tunog lata siya in Tagalog. So, well, you're paying only less than 3,000, so it's expected. Hindi naman siya ganun kaganda, pero hindi naman siya ganun kamahal, so okay lang siya for the price. Also, you can play it on full screen. For the 480p screen, it's not bad looking. You can actually watch good enough here anyways. Mabagal mo yung internet dito sa Pilipinas eh. So, okay na yung 480p. Although, kita mo naman dito, 480p is not that bad looking on a screen this big. You're only paying less than 3,000. So, come on. Don't expect too much. Now we proceed to the camera, the one that is important to most people. So, pero before we proceed, reminding everyone, 2,600. And the photos are actually usable. It's a very outdated camera app since it's running Android 6. Meron panorama mode, there's even multi-angle and live mode, but it's not really like the real live mode. And yung panorama is still like yung cheap Android na panorama. But if you take a picture, it's actually usable. But again, reminding, 5 megapixel lang yan. So don't expect that you can Instagrammable yan. Walang dynamic range dito. You will not see dynamic range. Focal range, focal point is not that good. Even in good lighting condition, medyo grainy siya. Lalo na indoors. Sa dark naman, you can always just use flash. Although yung flash na, it's not the brightest on the cheap phones. And you can see this is the video. Again, walang OIS sa cheap phones, but if you use a gimbal, video here is actually better than the THAF since meron siyang autofocus. And also this phone does not support 4G, 3G lang siya. Pero with Wi-Fi, it's actually good and konti lang yung stutter sa phone.
So that is the end of the review for the Umiio X1. And overall, I'd give it a high five rating of 3, so that's on par with the Elephone P1 earlier. But although the camera on the Elephone P1 and the game performance was better, Umiio X1 for the price is cheaper, has a bigger screen, although 480p compared to the 720p on the P1, and the camera is only 5 megapixel. You're getting 32 gigs of storage. On the Elephone P1 you had 3 gigs of RAM on the Elephone P1. On the Umiio X1 2, but considering this is cheaper by 300 pesos, I think you're not losing a lot of money on that. If you want for gaming, go for Elephone P1, but for storage, I think this is better, Umiio X1. Although I forgot to mention on the review itself, this has a this doesn't charge and perform at the same time. If you want to charge your phone, you have to not use the phone at all. But that's the only negative thing I saw on this phone overall. You know, the price is fit for what you're getting. 5 megapixel camera at the front and back, but 30 gigs of internal storage is not bad. So that's it. You get a high five rating of 3. So if you want to buy it, I'll leave a link down below. Again, please subscribe to my channel. And if you want to help me, I think I have a GoFundMe at the bottom. There's also a link in the description. So let's end the review. Let's end the video with a high five.